Good morning, everyone. Paul Ruppel here with Fox 29 News Now. Hope your Thursday's off to a fantastic start. We're with you weekdays after Good Day Philadelphia at 10 a.m., coming to you from our Technical Operations Center here at the Fox 29 studios. Let's get you out to, I just saw a live event pop up here. This appears to be Canada's Prime Minister Trudeau meeting with Mike Pompeo, the U.S. Secretary of State. Let's listen into their conversation here.
This is actually an office in the temporary.
Yeah, that's all that they're working on.
My dad had this office when he was Minister of Justice.
Oh, is that right?
My grandfather had this office when he was Minister of Fisheries. So there's a personal connection here.
Out there, like you were listening to something or a protest.
Looks like our feed just ended there. Let's take a live look at the Benjamin Franklin Parkway. Get you a quick check of your weather here. Right now it is 79 degrees outside. The dew point is 68, so still a little sticky and humid. Say it could be the last day of our heat wave if we get to 90 again. Winds out of the northwest at 8 miles per hour currently. Showing you ultimate Doppler radar. There you see the storms that moved through overnight last night, but we've got some clearing now. Overnight into the morning. Let's take that full look at weather right now real quick. A live look outside our studios at 4th and Market Streets in Old City, Philadelphia. See the Benjamin Franklin Bridge in the background there. Here again is a look at the last couple hours on Doppler. Not much to speak about there. Pretty quiet overall. Your current temperatures, 80s for most of the area. 77 in Pottstown, 73 in Mount Pocono, but we're already in the mid-80s in Atlantic City. Also 78 in Wrightstown. But 80s across most of the area. Here come your northeast temperatures. See some orange along the coast there. That's where you got 83 in Ocean City, Maryland. 84 inland in Charlottesville. Some 70s and some 60s back into Toronto, Canada. 80s along the Gulf Coast. 60s and 50s on the West Coast right now. Most of the heat in the U.S. right now concentrated in the southeast up into the mid-Atlantic. Of course, you've also got your hot spots out in the west, 84 in Las Vegas, 86 in Phoenix. In terms of temperature change, we're almost right where we were yesterday, exactly there in Philadelphia at the same hour yesterday. A couple ticks up or down depending on where you are across the region. Not much to speak of in terms of wind speeds, about 5 to 10 miles an hour. And so not much in the way of gusts, although looks like they are coming out of the north and west primarily. Your visibility, 10 across most of the area, so clear view for most of the area. Your satellite, just a little bit of cloud cover over the area. Here comes your Fox Futurecast. See, we do have the chance of some more pop-up storms as we move through the day today. Today could be the last day of our heat wave. Hot with the storm today, 92 for a high. Calling it a 7 on the Fox 29 Weather Authority forecast by the numbers. Tomorrow looks like an 8. Friday, it'll be clouds to sun, 80 degrees, 71 for an overnight low. Then Saturday looks sunny and nice. We're calling it a 10. Nice dip down to 64 overnight. So we're starting to get into some nicer sleeping weather here. Sunday, high of 78, sunny and nice. Another beauty on Monday, 79 as the Phillies come back home. Tuesday, clouds and sun, 82 for a high. And we're warming back up a little bit by midweek next week. Wednesday looks to have a high of 86 after an overnight low of 70. So it might be a chance to open your windows and enjoy the weather outside a little bit in your house. Remember that you can have the Fox 29 Weather Authority forecast at your fingertips anytime by downloading our Fox 29 Weather Authority app. See the hourly forecast, get alert notifications for severe weather right at your fingertips based on your location. And another look at outside our studios here at Fox 29 in Old City. Let's get you to our first story from this morning. A woman and her cats are safe after a fire broke out in an empty row home next door overnight. Our Sabina Kuriakos has this report for you this morning.
The row home fire broke out here along the 2300 block of North 20th Street in North Philadelphia. You can see it was the center row home that burst into flames just after 4:45 this morning. Right now, neighbors say that that home was not occupied. Neither was the one next door, but it was the yellow one that actually had somebody living inside. We actually spoke to that resident. Her name is Ashley. She's the only resident out of these 3 row homes here, so she didn't have any neighbors to knock on her door to wake her up. It was her fire alarms that went off, woke her up, saved her life. She was able to get her pets and get out of the building safely while firefighters continued to work on this fire. Let's listen to what she told us about those terrifying moments when she first woke up to flames.
I saw the fire coming through the window from like the 3rd floor. So it wasn't in my apartment, but like it was so close. I could just see the flames just blaring. It was really, really scary.
You had a working fire alarm.
Yes. I had 4. 2 in the hallway, 1 in the kitchen, 1 in the bedroom.
And that's what woke you up?
Yes. If I didn't wake up, who knows? Because it was like that. Like the smoke just got thicker and thicker and thicker. So.
And Ashley's most precious belongings, these cats, Sabretooth and Quinn, she was able to get out of the building safely. She has also gotten an update that she's going to be able to get her belongings from inside of the building as well. So that is good news. But if you look at the scene here, you can still see that it is active, has been active for much of the morning. The problem here is that there's some concerns about the structural stability of the center row home. That was the epicenter of this fire. So right now, LNI is on the scene, and the fire department remains here as well. Sabina Kuriakos, Fox 29 News.
Thank you to Sabina for that report. Police have charged a local priest with spending church funds on dates with men he met on the app Grindr. Fox 29's Bill Anderson has the latest in this live report, or this report from earlier this morning.
A religious leader of one of the largest Catholic churches in the area has been arrested yesterday after a year-long investigation, and people here in Downingtown at St. Joseph's Catholic Church are concerned, confused, and looking for answers. Now, Monsignor Joseph McLoone of St. Joseph's Catholic Church was arrested yesterday, accused of moving nearly $100,000 out of the accounts of the parish and the Archdiocese of Philadelphia into a personal account that he set up for himself 7 years ago. After a year-long investigation, authorities say that the money came from donations from parishioners, community groups, along with allegedly doubling the fees that he was paying himself for things like mass, weddings, and even funerals. Monsignor McLoone then apparently used the money for a beach house, for personal travel, and shockingly for what were called personal relationships with men that he met through online dating sites like Grindr. Congregants that we spoke with, they were obviously concerned, but they made it clear that the alleged actions of one doesn't represent their entire church.
If it is true, of course it's wrong, but I don't know for certain. And You know, all I can say is what I just said. That's from my heart. That's what I mean. I'm not leaving Jesus for Judas.
It's just a sad situation all the way across. But I'm sure they'll get to the bottom of it.
He made some big mistakes, and it's very sad, and I'll pray for him. I do. I pray for all of them, but I'm not going to leave.
The Archdiocese of Philadelphia did release a statement, and you can read it. I'll paraphrase. They are taking the charges very seriously. They say that they will continue to cooperate with law enforcement as they have done for the better part of a year. And pending the outcome, Monsignor McLoone remains on administrative leave. McLoone is facing 18 felony theft charges along with other related charges. He was released on $50,000 bail, has a court case scheduled for September 18th. But people here have a lot of questions. Hopefully over the next couple days, and then September 18th, they'll get some answers. Bill Anderson here in Downingtown, Fox 29 News.
Thank you to Bill Anderson for that report. Let's get you caught up on a few other stories around the area as you look at the Benjamin Franklin Parkway Live. Sorry, just getting an update on a possible news conference that may be coming in momentarily to the newsroom. We'll get you out to that if we can. Looks like it'll be held at Philadelphia Police Headquarters. We'll get you over there as soon as it looks like that's about to begin. In the meantime, catch up on a couple other stories. The city of Philadelphia has promised the two women involved with the sexual harassment lawsuit against the police department that they will not be retaliated against or transferred while the case plays out. This comes as Mayor Kenny and former police commissioner Richard Ross addressed Ross's resignation the other day.
In 55 years of life and 30 years of law enforcement, God and everybody else who knows me knows I have never targeted a person. I have never sought retribution on a person, personally or professionally.
We're imperfect people. We're imperfect human beings, all of us. And we have to try to put things in place that will make us as perfect as we can be.
Common theme there in the remarks about being imperfect. In a 104-page civil complaint, the Philadelphia police officers Jennifer Allen and Corporal Audra McCown detail claims of sexual harassment, race, and gender discrimination within the department. Allen's claims include being groped and grabbed by her supervisor. Both women claim they were repeatedly harassed by a fellow officer who made sexual comments and suggestive sounds towards them. Both also note that in January of this year, they observed officers and supervisors forge attendance sheets at mandatory sexual harassment training. The filing also suggests that both women made repeated attempts to talk to the chief inspector about these issues, but they were discouraged and told it would be troublemaking. We have posted the entire complaint at fox29.com. You can go there to read that and one of the stories pertaining to this subject, again, about the resignation of Police Commissioner Richard Ross. Developing in the Frankfurt section of the city of Philadelphia, a 30-year-old man is dead after a shooting on Hawthorne Street. Crime officers witnessed it happen just after midnight while they were monitoring cameras and immediately notified police, who found the victim lying on a sidewalk, shot multiple times, including in his head, back, and abdomen. No motive or witnesses at this time. Police are checking surveillance cameras in the area. And in North Philadelphia, a man is dead this morning following a shooting. A 24-year-old man was shot twice in the driver's seat of a car last night at Hunting Park Avenue and 3rd Street. Paramedics rushed him to the hospital where he died a few minutes later. Witnesses told police he was driving when someone from another car shot him, causing him to crash. No word yet on any arrests. In Bucks County, a Bensalem man is under arrest, accused of telling an undercover officer who was posing as a 12-year-old girl that he wanted to have sexual relations with her. Police and the FBI arrested 28-year-old Kavel Patel yesterday and charged him with sexual abuse of children. Officials say they started their investigation of Patel in January through the Kick app. Police say Patel also sent nude pictures of himself and asked her, the officer, to send some as well. Delaware State Police have arrested a man after they say he led them on a high-speed chase in a stolen car. His name is Joseph Sanders. He's now facing a lot of charges in connection with the case that police say happened Tuesday night around 7:30 along Broadkill Road in Milton. Sanders was arrested after he crashed into a field. Police learned Sanders also had an arrest warrant for burglary and a suspended license. Let's take you to that news conference that's occurring now at Philadelphia Police Headquarters. Let's listen in live.
Police transported Ms. Garrison to Temple Hospital, where she was subsequently pronounced at 12:05 a.m. A second stabbing victim, identified as Tayshawn Lawton, 28 years old, was located on the steps of 1502 North 29th Street. She was also suffering from multiple stab wounds. The motive for this incident appears to be a neighborhood dispute. The offender in this gruesome assault was identified as Tiana Thomas, 19 years old. An arrest warrant was obtained for Tiana Thomas, charging her with murder, attempted murder, aggravated assault, and related offenses. Video has been recovered which captures the assault. From this video, it would appear that there are 7 other females who participated in the assault. 2 of those females were observed exiting 1507 North 29th Street with Tiana Thomas. They are then observed meeting up with another group of 5 females who were observed arriving in and exiting from a vehicle at the corner of 29th Street and Jefferson. The group is then observed crossing 29th Street and confronting Miss Garrison, Miss Layton, and some other females who were present in front of 1502 North 29th Street. An altercation ensues, at which time a person we believe to be Tiana Thomas is observed standing over Miss Garrison, repeatedly stabbing her as Miss Garrison is lying on the ground. Following the stabbing of Miss Garrison, a person we also believe to be Tiana Thomas is observed going after and stabbing Miss Layton. Witness corroboration supports our video evidence that we recovered. I would strongly advise Tiana Thomas to contact an attorney and make arrangements to have herself turned in. I would also advise those 7 other females who participated in the assault with Tiana Thomas to do the same. We are in the process of identifying those other 7 individuals and are confident that this should not take us very long to do so. And with that, I'll open it up to questions. There were a couple locations that we checked for her that we thought she may be present at. So at this point in time, yes, I would say that she's hiding out.
The 7 other women, did they surround her, and what kind of charges were they facing? Can you describe the scene?
The video shows a group assault. So like I had mentioned, they all meet up at the corner of 29th and Jefferson. 5 were exit a vehicle. They meet up with the other 3 that are observed exiting 1507 29th Street. So clearly they're all together. That video is very clear. They cross the street. You can see that a confrontation takes place, at which time it's chaos, as you could imagine. There aren't nearly as many females in the other group, perhaps 4 to 5. Okay, so they're certainly outnumbered. Then, and again, this is from witness corroboration and our video evidence. You can see Ms. Thomas standing over top of our decedent, repeatedly stabbing her in downward motion.
Did you say, and I may have missed this, what sparked this?
Neighborhood dispute. That's what we're being told. No.
The family said that it started from an Instagram insult from one member of the group to the other. Has any witnesses testified?
Yeah, we had heard that, but I don't believe that was ever corroborated.
What kind of charges are the other 7 facing? Even if they didn't do the actual stabbing, what are they looking at?
Well, as co-defendants, they would be charged with conspiracy and potentially charged with the same offenses: murder, attempted murder, aggravated assault, and related offenses. However, I would surmise that cooperation would go a long way in helping them, possibly reduce or avoid those charges. Okay, thank you.
Excuse me. Do you have any information on the Millick Street shooting from this morning?
No, that just occurred this morning. Possibly domestic, but again, that's speculation. I have not had that information confirmed. Okay, thank you.
Again, you've been watching a quick press conference there.
I'll answer the question for you.
Let's listen in here.
Yeah, I believe the CBS reporter was going to ask about the incident that happened overnight in the 15th District. That matter is still very much under investigation, too. So I believe Chief Inspector Small gave some information over the overnight or whenever he was interviewed. That's where we stand with it right now. So at this point, it would just be improper for us to continue to comment while the detectives are still doing the work on that case. So that's it. That's what he was answering right before he walked off. Now, they're still working. That was so active. I mean, I think we got the report at, 7:15 this morning, so they're probably still at the scene. So as soon as we get something, we'll definitely make sure that we, if not in person, certainly in print. So, good. Yep.
You've been watching a news conference at Philadelphia Police Headquarters where they're talking about a stabbing that occurred on Jefferson Street. It sounds like they're urging a possible suspect to turn herself in. The initial information from police was numerous 911 calls for a stabbing and a fight at 29th and Jefferson Street. Police found a 28-year-old victim stabbed numerous times. She was conscious and talking. Police took her to Temple Hospital and she was placed in critical condition, but she was later upgraded to stable condition. She was stabbed multiple times throughout her torso and arms. Second victim was a 23-year-old victim found lying in the highway, and she was taken to Jefferson Hospital and pronounced at 12:05 p.m. This apparently started as a fight between 2 females and a third female who allegedly committed the stabbing. The video has been posted to social media, and you heard Philadelphia police talking about the latest on that case. Again, this occurred in the Brewery Town section of Philadelphia. I believe this was early Monday morning. No, Tuesday at 12:05 a.m. or Monday 11:33 p.m. That's the time that police dispatched. So, try to get you out to any live updates that are coming in on stories we've brought you on our air and on our website. Next, we'll get you back to some of the stories we were covering there. I believe this is the next one we had queued up here. Police in Bucks County are asking you to take a look at this guy. He gets away with stealing cartons of cigarettes from a Ben Salem Wawa on Bristol Pike. Police say he got away with about $1,700 worth of cartons of cigarettes. You can see him go behind the register, open a cabinet, and take out a large box filled with cartons of Newport and Parliament cigarettes. He was seen leaving in a dark SUV, possibly a Jeep Cherokee. In Cumberland County, New Jersey, officials have not yet identified the body of a kayaker found near Thompson Beach. The kayaker was first reported missing Monday. The Coast Guard, New Jersey State Police, and Cumberland County rescue crews all searched for more than 500 square miles to find him. He was last seen leaving East Point, just a few miles away from where he was found. In Montgomery County, PA, Whole Foods whole lot thieves. Police say these thieves stole purses and wallets from customers at Whole Foods. It happened twice earlier this month at the Whole Foods on the 1500 block of the Fairway in Abington Township. Again, these are persons of interest police wanted to speak with who they believe were involved in these thefts at Whole Foods in Abington Township. If you know who they are, please give police a call. And let's get you a national story here. Experts say Jeffrey Epstein might have dealt another blow to his accusers from the grave. Legal experts say he filed his will in a foreign country, so his accusers must refile all their claims, and he put the money in a trust fund. Experts say dividing it up could actually take years. The 66-year-old killed himself earlier this month while awaiting trial on federal sex trafficking charges involving dozens of teenage girls. Let's take another look back at your weather here. Coming up on 10:30, you see those storms that moved through overnight. I believe before those storms hit Philadelphia, I believe they dropped the severe thunderstorm watch, but they did carry some winds and heavy rain as they moved through last night. Looking pretty good so far this morning. Nice shot of the Benjamin Franklin Parkway with the Philadelphia Museum of Art in the background. Let's take another look at conditions outside right now. Currently 79, same as when we started the broadcast here, our web stream. Dew point 68, winds out of northwest at 8 miles an hour, so picked up a little bit there. Here come your current temperatures. May have ticked up a couple degrees to 81 in the city, 80s across most of the area. Headed back to the 90s today. Your northeast temps, as we mentioned earlier, a lot of orange along the eastern seaboard. A little bit of yellow inland and green further back to the north and west. Your U.S. temperatures. 80s in the south and east primarily. Even 82 up into Boston. Detroit, one of the cooler spots at 69. Minneapolis at only 66. Rapid City at 65. And Denver, 64. Santa Fe, the cool spot at 60 right now. Had to keep following that green down to find the cool spot. Oh, and there's one even cooler. Portland, 58 right now. Again, temperature change not much different from this time yesterday. Your wind speeds. Wind's picking up a little bit up in the Poconos. Mount Pocono now at 12 miles per hour. Most of the area in single digits. And there's wind gusts coming from the north and west. Visibility still remains good. Your satellite shows not too much cloud cover. Here comes the Fox Futurecast. See, we do have the potential for some more storms this afternoon. And your 7-day forecast from the Fox 29 Weather Authority. Hot with a storm today, 92. 7 on our forecast by the numbers. We'll get to an 8 tomorrow. Clouds to sun, 80 degrees. Sunny and nice, 80 on Saturday. Looks like a 10. Sunny and nice, 78. Nice theme for the weekend on Sunday. Monday, another beauty, 79. Phillies get back home. Tuesday, clouds and sun, 82. And Wednesday, warming up, 86. About tonight's weather, I can tell you, Sue Serio said this morning, a sticky evening at the Link. You'll have to stay hydrated as you watch the Eagles play the Ravens in preseason action. You also have to watch out for a pop-up thunderstorm, especially near the end of the game, temps in the 80s. But she's also touting that weekend. What a difference. After 5 days in the 90s, temps drop starting tomorrow, and highs stay around the 80 degree days, both Saturday and Sunday. With dew points in the 50s, it's quite the comfortable weekend. Something to look forward to. You can see Sue's latest forecast from the morning and all your other weather information on the Fox 29 Weather Authority app. Download it in the Apple iTunes Store or the Google Play Store. Let's get you a quick look at some business news from this morning. A TV star launches a beauty line for Gen Zers, and debt relief is in sight for disabled veterans. Fox Business Network's Tracy Carrasco has more in today's Morning Business Outlook.
Stocks making a midweek rally Wednesday thanks to strong earnings reports from companies like Lowe's and Target. America's newest debt forgiveness program helping thousands of disabled veterans. On Wednesday, President Trump signing a memorandum to forgive federal student loan debt for American vets who are permanently disabled. The memo wiping out an average of $30,000 in debt owed by more than 25,000 eligible severely wounded warriors. This Stranger Things star is turning the beauty world upside down with her latest venture. Actress Millie Bobby Brown announcing her new beauty line, Florence by Mills. The star planning to bring teens 15 skincare products, including a glowing peel-off mask and look-alive eye balm. All products are said to be vegan, sulfate-free, paraben-free, and cruelty-free. For more, log on to foxbusiness.com. In New York, I'm Tracy Carrasco.
That credit there should have been Millie Bobby Brown on Instagram. The, as mentioned, the Stranger Things star. Again, that video courtesy of actress Millie Bobby Brown, who's announcing her own beauty line, Florence by Mills. Trying to get you a shot of the market real quick. That's not cooperating at the moment, but I can tell you that there it is. The market is down 32 points at the moment, a little more than a tenth of a percentage point after being up earlier in the session. Dow Jones Industrial Average is at 26,170. Thank you for bearing with me for a moment while I got that set up for you. and while we're here, let's give you a quick tour of our weather cameras from around the region so you can see conditions around the area for yourself. Here they come. Let's switch that up. Want to play that out on the right channel for you. There we go. All right, we've got a little bit of a mystery on our hands. The former spokeswoman for Michael Jackson, the entertainer, is holding a news conference to make some type of announcement regarding his life and legacy. Let's listen into what they're talking about here.
And restore for that purpose. He was a man who ordered me to pay for funerals of people whom he did not know. Clothes, shoes, family reunions. Why? Because they asked him. He was a man whom I know, based on his spiritual fiber and pedigree, would be incapable of harming a child. Not many of you know that in 2007, Michael Jackson moved here to Washington, D.C. for me and my team to help him reorganize his personal and professional life. He stayed here for 6 months. Not one time was Michael Jackson around a child that was not his own, and not one time did I hear about or ever see Michael Jackson with or around a child during my entire tenure with him, which was 8 years. I feel this is important for me to say, and it's time for me to speak up. Child molestation and pedophilia are serious and unacceptable occurrences. It's sick, psychotic behavior. I consider myself a strong advocate for children and youth. I have been on the boards of directors of several children's organizations, one of which I still currently serve. And let me say for the record that either I nor anyone who was on my team would work for or compromise our integrity, close our eyes, turn our back, or represent anyone who would willfully harm a child. Not only am I appalled that at the beginning of this special year, we were all confronted with a biased, one-sided documentary, I am equally appalled that it has been nominated for 5 Emmy Awards. But if it were not Michael Jackson, would it be nominated for 5 Emmy Awards? It also just won the 2019 TV Critics Award in the news and information category for HBO. Joe Vogel, Hollywood entertainment reporter for Forbes magazine, quotes one of the accusers from something that he wrote in 2009, and he was 27 years old. He says, Michael Jackson changed the world and me personally, my life forever. He is the reason I dance, the reason I make music. He has been a close friend of mine for 20 years. His music, his movement, his personal words of inspiration and encouragement and unconditional love will live with me forever. I will miss him immeasurably, but I now know that he is now at peace. What inconsistency? Does that sound like anyone who has been molested for 7 years? But it doesn't seem to matter about the inconsistency. It doesn't seem to matter that Mr. Jackson was legally acquitted, which involved over 21 raids on his home, many I lived through. And what is most important to me, it does not seem to matter that he is not here to defend himself. Is this the order of the day now? To wait until someone dies to destroy his or her image when they're not here to defend themselves? A man's name, a man who happens to be the most prolific entertainer of all time, and bar none, the most celebrated and beloved African-American entertainer and performer to ever live, that man, Michael Jackson, has been a victim since his death. A victim over and over and over again, and it's time for it to stop. I believe that it is morally, ethically, and legally wrong. But how much blame should the very estate whose job is to preserve, protect, and take care of Michael's legacy? What tone and standard has his very estate taken? What is the standard of behavior? We constantly read after his death in any personal profile of one of the executors that Michael Jackson died $500 million in debt. Unsubstantiated. Didn't Michael Jackson own the Beatles catalog containing 200 Beatles songs, the songs of Ray Charles, Curtis Mayfield, Little Richard, Bob Dylan, some of Elvis's recordings that he purchased in 2007, Sly and the Family Stone, and did you know that he also owned Silver Bells, The Godfather, and 4,000 songs in total? Didn't he sell out 50 shows in a 24-hour period, generating a $450 million ticket sale in March or April of 2009 before his death in June? Then how did he die $500 million in debt? And even if he had, why keep repeating it? For what? A few years ago, in their fight with the IRS, the same executor brought in Michael Jackson's worst enemy to prove that he was broke when he died. And what did this man say? When Michael Jackson died, his image was worth less than a second-hand used car. Selling out 50 shows in a 24-hour period, and you say that his image was worth less than a second-hand used car? What kind of tone are we setting? Rather than build upon his goals and objectives, the estate recently sold the most valuable asset in the estate. Something Michael Jackson said, even to a stranger on the street, that he would never do, and that is sell his publishing. He sacrificed his life for that. It was the cornerstone of his legacy and his success for his children. Sold. Over 4,000 songs were sold back to Sony. In December of 2007, the then chairman of Sony offered Michael $220 million just for My Jack music. Michael turned it down. But yet, 4,000 songs were sold for a reported $750 million, which was less than one Beatles catalog was appraised for. And I do know that because on his behalf, I paid for the appraisal. Neverland Valley Ranch, a 3,000-acre pristine estate, is sitting on the market still. When his children said years ago they wanted it because it was the only home they knew. A beautiful place, despite what you've read, which could be used for so many organizations or charities, but it's just sitting. Havenhurst, the Jackson family estate, was taken away under the auspices of renovations. Michael's family evicted. He had a choice to do this in 2006 when we refinanced Havenhurst. He refused to do it. He said it was the Jackson family estate and he wanted it to remain that way. So have the renovations been complete? Has it been turned into a museum? For most observers, it's just sitting. I and others have been fighting for 10 long years, unrelenting. They have refused to sit down and mediate or settle, while they just recently settled with a man who was impersonating a doctor for years, who allowed Michael Jackson's phones to be disconnected so that while he was out there deteriorating, going from 160 pounds to 99, they settled with him. The same man who claims he brought a deal to the table that was brought 3 years earlier through Peter Lopez and I. And it hurts me to say that since his death, not one African American who was a consultant to the Michael Jackson Company has been compensated. Despite all of the collusion we've experienced, we have not lost faith in the justice system or in God. It's easy to say you're a victim, but I don't think any of us have been a greater victim than Michael Jackson. So with all that I have said, should we wonder why some feel that they have carte blanche authority to say and do and speak and act any way they feel towards Michael Jackson? Is it any wonder that there seems to be no limit to what some say whenever they say it and anytime they want to say it. But it's time for a new beginning. Michael Jackson is no punching bag, and he deserves better. Michael Jackson knew. He knew that based on what he experienced during his life, that he would continue to be a target. He knew that there were few loyalties, and he knew that mandates had to be put in place upon his death to preserve and maintain his legacy. Michael Jackson, for any of you who knew him, he was methodical, he was thorough, and he was precise. I have wished, I have hoped, and I have prayed that Michael Jackson's will, dated October 6, 2006, would be found, revealed, discovered, dropped from the sky, because in it, he painstakingly outlined how he wanted his legacy to be preserved and maintained. But this isn't about his will. I don't have it. I don't know where it is. And we've got to deal with the hand that we're dealt. But I have had the honor of having heard him, sat with him, and I witnessed it along with the notary. I knew where his head was and in what direction he wanted to go. In the 10 years since his death, for a man who again gave over $300 million during his lifetime to various charities, I know of no scholarship, no endowment, no chair, no school, or contribution to any HBCU or college or university in Michael Jackson's name. I know of no recording studio, hospital, clinic, foundation, charity. I've heard of no gift or major contribution to any organization either named for him or given in the name of Michael Jackson. Have any of you? No. And I've said nothing. Michael Jackson embraced his ethnicity. Reverend Jesse L. Jackson Sr. was an advisor, served on his internal financial board, and was also appointed by Mr. Jackson to the board of directors of Sony ATV Publishing. When I put Michael on the phone with one of my mentors, civil rights icon, the late Coretta Scott King, he talked to her 2 days before her death via my friend, the late Yolanda King. Or when I put him on the phone with civil rights icon, Vernon Jordan, or with civil rights icon, Ambassador Andrew Young, or Ambassador Harold Doley, the first African American to have a seat on the New York Stock Exchange. Out of respect, he called them, and he called them to seek their advice. But not one dime since his death has been contributed to any civil rights organization or any organization, to my knowledge, by the estate of Michael Jackson. And I've said nothing. For 10 years, I've sat quiet regarding matters concerning him. I have watched him be victimized while observing and witnessing some of the most questionable behavior, inaction, and decisions made by the very persons who have been given the charge to protect, preserve, and defend and enhance his legacy. Maybe I've been quiet because I've listened to the advice of attorneys as a result of ongoing legal matters. Maybe because of intimidation, maybe because of fear of retaliation. For I've been bullied, I've been hacked, I've been cyber attacked, I've been defamed, demeaned, belittled, and disrespected. But despite all of that, I stand here today strong, confident, and determined to tell the truth once and for all.
You've been watching former spokeswoman for the entertainer Michael Jackson, talking about his legacy and the way he's been remembered, bemoaning some of the portrayals of the pop star in recent media. I believe this event, I don't know that we heard her discuss this, but I've seen some reports that she may be announcing a Michael Jackson Legacy Foundation. This is coming 10 years after the pop star's passing. So I believe that was put in a news conference. I don't know that we caught her talking about that in particular. This was billed as a major announcement, but I don't know that it was on our radar before the shot popped up for us. So glad to be able to get you out there to listen to a little bit of that. But again, reports are that the members of Michael Jackson's former co-workers and employees seem to be starting a Michael Jackson Legacy Foundation about a decade after the pop star's passing. Well, thank you very much for joining us today on News Now. We're with you weekdays after Good Day Philadelphia at 10 a.m. Try to get you out to live events, get you updates on the stories that we covered during Good Day Philadelphia all morning. Of course, for the latest updates, check fox29.com, follow us on social media, and we'll have full newscasts for you on the Fox 29 News at 5, 6, 10, and 11. For now, I'm Paul Ruppel, the Digital Media Manager here at Fox 29. Thank you for watching, and have a great rest of your Thursday.